I hope so. He hasn't been ruled out, so that's the main thing. He's, we saw him play the rest of the game, and he played a sensational game. So we're hopeful that he'll be able to get to the line, but we're not sure. We obviously got it on medical advice, how it pulls up, and we'll have to wait and see.
So what's the exact description of what he's done? It sort of seems like something a bit more long-term.
I just think he just broke a bone in his hand, and sometimes you can come back from those fairly quickly. We saw Tom Lynch come back from a break in his hand the next week and play, so it's not completely unusual. And but once again, we'll be guided by how he's feeling and the medical advice at the end of the week.
He wants to play this week or in the coming weeks. Do we need any sort of protection on his hand?
I'm assuming he'd wear a glove or something. I assume that'd be the case. So we'll have to wait and see what the week sort of plays out like.
We couldn't kind of believe about like a couple of all the tours. He's probably about the only tour at the club that hasn't been in the
Sorry, Adrian, I couldn't hear you.
He's the only tour that hasn't been injured.
Okay, sorry, mate. Yeah, that's about true. It's and he's in a very important tour with that as well. So we've had it's been well documented. We've had a fair share of run of injuries with those taller players. So, but he's not out yet, and so we are hopeful that he can get to the line.
Considering the possibility you won't be playing in Sydney again this year?
I guess it's a possibility. It's anything's possible in this environment. Where what you're what we're becoming accustomed to is that you turn up to work on a Monday and you're not sure what the next day is going to bring, and you're not sure what the next day is going to bring. So who knows what happens from here on in. It's very much a case, and I've always said this, that you worry about what you can control, but it's no more relevant than now. And if you look at what's happened in Victoria, all the teams in the hubs, the challenges that all clubs have got at the moment is that you've got to roll with the punches a bit, and if that's the case, that's the case.
And are you guys sort of on a setting that you might be called out of the state at any time? Because it feels a bit touch and go, doesn't it?
Well, I guess it's like the Melbourne-based clubs that at the moment we can only plan for going to Perth. That's what our plan is in a couple of weeks. If that changes, we'll move with it. But the AFL have been fantastic in the communication so far. It's not something that we'll be able to dictate. We'll just go with what we're told to do.
So they haven't told you to keep a bag packed?
Not at the moment, no. But once again, if that changes, we'll move with it.
Do you have anybody coming back this week at all?
Hopefully we'll have a couple that'll be available. Lewis Malik and Joel Armady, a couple that we hope to get back in to be able to play. So we're not sure whether they'll be required in the seniors yet or not. So we're not sure just yet.
Will Hayward's one that's not quite ready?
Will's a chance. Yeah, no, Will is a chance. He's one I missed. He's a chance to come back and play. He was a chance last week, but it was a little bit risky. He hasn't been declared fully fit. He'll have to train on Thursday to get through, and we won't be taking any risks with him. He was really keen to play last week. I'm sure he'd be really keen to play this week, but sometimes you just got to take the precautionary path in those instances, and hopefully he's okay.
Are you disappointed about Parker's comments on Tom? I mean, I knew you were strong a couple of weeks ago when Dimmer made those remarks. I know you believe very much coaches shouldn't comment on players from other teams.
I said what I said after the game, and when I heard it, and that's still my opinion. But there's probably just a couple of things. Is one, was it a free kick? Well, that's not my role to answer that. If it was a free kick, we'll end the story. And he's had one free kick played against him per game on average this year. But other than that, that's what the facts are, and I get on with now concentrating on our boys.
But you got an apology from Damien shortly afterwards. Have you got one from Alistair?
From Alistair? No, I wasn't expecting one. So. No.
With going away to Perth, the Melbourne Demons, when they were here, they sort of lost a few games before they got to Sydney, and they sort of felt like bonding together was a good thing for them. Do you think that could be a good thing for your team? You've got such a young group, and you're setting up for the future. You've got this rare chance to spend 3 or 4 weeks together.
That's certainly the way we're looking at it. we were the youngest team for the round on the weekend, and it's something that we're conscious of, is that we've got a very young team, and for this year we've probably been the youngest team for a number of weeks. But that's something we're excited by and not daunted by. We'd love to have some of those players back that are out injured, and there's a number of the senior players on the injured list, but we look at what we can control, which is the players we've got and the opportunities in front of us, which is this week playing a team that just beat the top team on the ladder on their home deck by 30 points. So the Saints are in absolute red hot form. And then we've got the Pies a few days later, and then we go over to WA and we look at the opportunities that present itself as well.
Do you think Zach Jones is going to be someone who really relishes coming up against us?
I don't know, it's probably a question you have to ask Zach. He's playing good footy, there's no question about that, he's playing very well. Yeah.
Will we see Elijah Taylor again this week in the ones?
Oh, he's a chance. We'll see what the team looks like later in the week when we find out a bit more about Will. But we had Belly and Elijah and a young forward group in front of the ball on the weekend, and they're not going to get everything right, but they're learning on the job, which is exciting.
What have you noticed about the Saints in their period of good form, especially that last quarter against the Port, that you're going to have to deal with and counteract?
Well, the thing that stood out on the weekend was just their dominance around the stoppages. They just it was incredible, their figures around the stoppages. I mean, Paddy Ryder's in great form. Marshall, they've got great presence in the ruck. They've got two quality AFL senior ruckmen, and they've got great speed at ground level. And so that transferred into a really high return from goals from stoppages. So we're mindful of that. We have to try and get on top of that area of the ground.
Has Lance done a full session yet with the team, or he's still sort of...
No, he's still building. He's running and kicking. He's doing some of those smaller drills in small numbers, but he's not into the team phase just yet.
Are you confident we will see him at some stage this season?
Yes, I am. But once again, we'll make sure he's had a number of weeks of training under his belt and team training under his belt before we get to that stage. He's coming along well so far, but we'll make sure that he gets the work under his belt that he requires before he starts playing.
And you're taking the Pride game on the road this week.
Yeah.
What does the event mean to the club and to yourself?
Oh, it's very important for this footy club, and it's terrific that we have the opportunity every year to play against St Kilda in the Pride game, and it's about inclusion for everyone to feel safe and enjoy the football when they're able to come. And it's a little bit different this year, we understand that, but it's important for the club to be able to still acknowledge that aspect by playing in the Pride game, and we're pleased to be able to do that again this year.